Imagine a company that began by printing playing cards in a small workshop in Kyoto, Japan, and would one day transform childhoods around the globe. A company that gave us worlds filled with plumbers who leap across castles, adventurers braving dangerous dungeons, and creatures we just had to catch. This is the story of Nintendo, the unlikely empire that didn't just sell video games, it sold imagination. But how did a family-run business from the 1800s become one of the most beloved and recognizable names in entertainment history? Tonight, on Qurios, we step into the warp pipe, rewind time, and uncover how Nintendo became so famous. The year is 1889. Japan is undergoing rapid change. Industries are growing. Western influences are reshaping traditions. But one man, Fusajiro Yamauchi, sees opportunity in something simple: cards. Not the kind we know from poker nights, but handmade, painted cards called hanafuda. Their intricate floral designs made them perfect for gambling, which was, though technically banned, thriving in underground circles. Fusajiro opens a small shop, Nintendo Koppai, crafting these cards by hand. They are beautiful, popular, and soon, indispensable. Nintendo doesn't know it yet, but it has just taken its first shuffle in a long game of chance. For decades, Nintendo was simply a card company, but success brought challenges. By the mid-1900s, the market for cards was shrinking. The Yamauchi family, who inherited the business, realized they had to transform or vanish. Enter Hiroshi Yamauchi, the bold and uncompromising grandson of Fusajiro. Taking over at just 22, Hiroshi was ambitious. He didn't want Nintendo to remain a quaint card maker. He wanted it to dominate entertainment. And so, Nintendo experimented. They tried taxis. They tried love hotels. Even instant rice. Strange ventures, most of which failed spectacularly. But in these experiments was a spirit, a refusal to stay still, a willingness to take risks. Then came the breakthrough. Arcade ambience slowly grows louder. In the 1970s, the arcade boom was sweeping across Japan and the United States. Electronic games, flashing screens, joystick controls. Suddenly, fun had a new face. Nintendo dived in, producing arcade machines like Radar Scope. Most were modest successes. But then came a creation that would rewrite gaming history: Donkey Kong. Designed by a young artist named Shigeru Miyamoto, Donkey Kong introduced not just addictive gameplay, but storytelling. Players weren't just moving pixels. They were a carpenter named Jumpman, later renamed Mario, leaping barrels to rescue a damsel in distress. This was different. This was emotional. This was fun with a story. And with Donkey Kong, Nintendo had its first true global hit. The 1980s. Living rooms around the world were becoming battlefields of entertainment. Companies like Atari had made video games mainstream, but also nearly destroyed them. The video game crash of 1983 left shelves stacked with cheap, uninspired games. Consumers lost faith. But from the chaos, Nintendo rose with a bold idea. The Famicom, short for Family Computer, launched in Japan in 1983. When it crossed the Pacific 2 years later, it was rebranded as the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. At first, American retailers were skeptical. After Atari, who wanted more video games. But Nintendo cleverly marketed the NES as not just a console. It was an entertainment system. With its toy-like design, the iconic Zapper gun, and a robot companion called ROB, it slipped past the stigma. And then came the games. Super Mario Bros. Wasn't just a game. It was a revolution. Side-scrolling worlds, secrets hidden in pipes, music that stuck in your head for decades. For millions of children, Mario became the face of fun. Nintendo followed with The Legend of Zelda, introducing sprawling adventures and save files that let players continue epic quests over days and weeks. Gaming wasn't a quick distraction anymore. It was a journey. By the late 80s, Nintendo wasn't just surviving, it was dominating. Its seal of quality restored faith in video games. Its characters, Mario, Link, Samus, were household names. The console wars had begun, and Nintendo was leading the charge. But Hiroshi Yamauchi and Nintendo weren't content with the living room. They wanted gaming everywhere. In 1989, engineer Gunpei Yokoi unveiled a small, gray brick, the Game Boy. It wasn't flashy. Its screen was green and black, its graphics simple compared to competitors like Sega's Game Gear. But it had two secret weapons, battery life and Tetris. Tetris wasn't just a game, it was a global obsession. The Game Boy, bundled with it, flew off shelves. And when Pokémon arrived in the mid-90s, the Game Boy became unstoppable. Children carried it to schoolyards, trading Pokémon, battling friends. Suddenly, gaming was portable, social, and addictive. Nintendo had done it again. They didn't just sell hardware, they created cultural phenomena. But success brought challengers. Sony's PlayStation was rising. Sega still fought hard. The competition was fierce. And yet, Nintendo had a secret advantage, its characters. While others boasted hardware specs, Nintendo had Mario, Zelda, Pokémon. Worlds you didn't just play, you lived in. Nintendo's journey wasn't without missteps. The Virtual Boy was a disaster. The GameCube underperformed. But each failure was followed by bold reinvention. In 2006, the world met the Wii. With its motion-sensing remote, the Wii wasn't about graphics or power, it was about experience. Grandparents bowled in living rooms, parents played tennis with their kids, nursing homes held Wii Sports tournaments. Gaming had never been so accessible. Then came the Nintendo DS, with dual screens and a touch interface. Once again, Nintendo wasn't chasing technology, it was reimagining how people played. And in 2017, Nintendo unveiled its masterstroke, the Nintendo Switch. A hybrid console that worked both docked to a TV and as a portable handheld, the Switch bridged two worlds. Games like Breath of the Wild and Animal Crossing, New Horizons didn't just entertain. They comforted millions during the pandemic, becoming cultural lifelines in uncertain times. Through it all, Nintendo stayed true to its core philosophy, lateral thinking with withered technology. Meaning, innovation isn't about the newest tech, but about using existing tools in unexpected, delightful ways. So how did Nintendo become so famous? Because Nintendo doesn't just make games. It makes memories. From Qurios painted playing cards to the global phenomenon of Mario, Zelda, and Pokémon, Nintendo has spent more than a century redefining play itself. It dared to reinvent, to stumble, to rise again. It crafted not just entertainment systems, but cultural touchstones. When we hear the coin sound, the chime of a Zelda puzzle solved, or Pikachu's cheerful Pika, we aren't just hearing games. We're hearing echoes of our childhoods, our friendships, our dreams. And that is Nintendo's true power. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you never miss the next story. Thanks for watching.